phone. Mama taught me be polite, but also talk my shit. Listen closely, these the only words that you gon' get. Cause she is everything you imagine. Grab a hold of me when it happens. Yes, it's immaculate and it's magic. Thank your lucky stars, I'ma let you have it. Ooh, ooh, but it stays between me and you. Ooh, to the world, I'm as goody two shoes. They might have an inkling, but they'll never get to see all my hidden talents, like how I make you my seed. I pull those good and plenty lyrics out there. Oh, come and feel my inspiration, way too good to share. Cause she is everything you imagine. No, you won't believe when it happens. Yes, it's immaculate and it's magic. Thank your lucky stars, I'ma let you have it. Ooh, ooh, but it stays between me and you. Ooh, to the world, I'm as goody two shoes. To the world, I'm as goody two shoes. Cause she is everything you imagine. No, you won't believe when it happens. Yes, it's immaculate and it's magic. Thank your lucky stars, I'ma let you have it. Ooh, ooh, but it stays between me and you. Ooh, to the world, I'm as goody two shoes. To the world, I'm as goody two shoes.
Hey y'all, hey, it's Ali Fiya with the Fiya Morning Show. We are here in the building. Can you introduce yourself to us, love?
Hello, hello. It is Denishi. I am one of the candidates running for city council here in Missouri City. I'm so excited to be here today with Ali Fiya. And I am running at large number 2 here in Missouri City. Election day is November 4th. That's this Tuesday. So right around the corner tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So excited to be here today and encourage people to come out and vote and just have folks learn a little bit about who is Denishi and why I'm running and what are my plans and what I'd like to do for Missouri City.
What would you like to do for Missouri City since we're talking about it? Let's just dive right in.
Yeah, let's dive in. I have, I've born and raised here in Missouri City. I grew up in the Hightower area. I grew up in Vicksburg, actually. Went to Palmer Elementary, Lake Olympia Middle School, Hightower High School, which prepped me to go to UT McCombs for my finance degree, and from there beyond, have a career in management consulting. So it's one of the sister industries to banking and some of the big fields there. So what I really learned in that time was had a rigorous business finance background. When I come back to Missouri City, a few years ago, and I saw what was going well, what wasn't going well, I started getting more involved and making sure that as my hometown grows and develops, our people are growing and developing with it, and we're not leaving of our half of our city behind. And what I saw when I came back were there were some good things, some great development going on, but I also saw what I felt was a lot of neighborhoods in degradation and have actually gotten worse over time. I saw schools that I felt had gone the same way. And what I really saw was a need for, real revitalization and community-driven efforts to take hold in Missouri City, which is why I'm so grateful for community leaders such as yourselves who do
Yay,
it
Most
with
City Radio's here.
exactly. I was able to go to one of y'all's events the other day at Buffalo Run Park, and I was just amazed by the support you give our young and creative, talented youth, because they have so much to express. They have
Yeah.
so much talent. They have so much. Um,
Energy.
the energy. Yeah, there's so much.
Energy.
I was just like magic, right?
Yeah.
Just they're so special. And whenever you invest or even believe in them, you get so much in return. And so, what I see, in Missouri City is a lot of beautiful, beautiful people, and the groundwork to create something beautiful and amazing here. We've done a great job, and I think we can take it to another level, right? And I think we can really seize a hold of our. You were talking about destiny before we started this radio,
I love destiny.
and when I think about what Missouri City's destiny is, and what we can be, and what my vision, what I think our community's vision for the future, it's taking our what we're so good at, right? Our culture, our people, our community, and putting that more at the forefront, and not being so scared to showcase what Missouri City is all about. And when I think about it, I even see this wall, right? Travis Scott. We have Miss Universe 2022, local, grown from Vicksburg, right? We have business leaders. One of my good friends, I graduated, he ended up on the Forbes list being a tech entrepreneur. He's on his second AI startup. He was on the Forbes list
Long
4 years
that.
after he graduated high school.
So how long's that been?
Yeah, so it's been about 10 years now since he appeared, right? And he was known, and it all started right at Hightower and in this area. So we've always been a place where magic can take Beyonce. Beyonce's called Mo City home, right? Like people forget about all the legends that call Missouri City home. And so when I think about Missouri City and our future, I want to say put some respect on our name. Put some respect on our name.
It.
Right?
I love it. So, as getting to know you, you are a native of Mo City.
100%. Mo City all day,
So
every day.
you Mo City proud.
Yes, Mo City girl, my Mo City world.
What's the first and what thing stands out to you the most about Missouri City?
Wow. One of the things that stands out to me the most is how you even invested. Well, no, this is the best way to say it. If you can make it in Mo City, you can make it in the world.
Wow.
If you're cool in Mo City, you're cool in Texas, you're cool in the world, right?
Really?
And it's proven to me time and time again that the students that come from this area, when they are really when they have that belief in their self, when they have that community, when they just go 110%, they perform. They reach to the upper echelons of the world. And I've already said some examples, and I'll take it back to when one of my classmates from middle school, Lake Olympia Middle School, we were in band together when she went to do Miss Universe. The first year she went for Miss Texas. She didn't win, but she learned a lot that year.
Yeah.
The second year she went, she won Miss Texas. And as soon as she won Miss Texas, I was like, she's going to be Miss Universe.
And boom.
Boom. Yeah, I didn't even wait for Miss USA. I was like, all right, check. I already knew that was going to happen. Because I knew when she got to that level, she knew how to manipulate. It didn't matter if, all these other countries came out, because she had already made it here.
Where she needed to be.
Exactly.
So I'm glad we're talking about failures. Mm-hmm. How does failures, give us an example of a failure that you've went through and came out here?
Yeah, that is a good,
because failure
good
sometimes
question.
breeds the best of the beast.
Yeah.
I mean, not just necessarily negativity, but a positivity. It makes you go. Mm-hmm. What is a challenge that you've had in life that created you who you are now?
Yeah, I'm even going to take it to what is happening right now. This race I'm doing. When I started this race, everyone was just shocked, right? I'm going against a big name, a name that's very well known in Missouri City. And so people pretty much told me out the gate, you're going to lose. You're going to fail, right? Oh. Exactly. And so, I take it in stride. I mean, because again, being from Missouri City, no one ever bets on you to win. Mm-hmm. People always bet as against you, in fact, right? Mm-hmm. And don't believe in the dreams and hopes that people in this area might have. So when everyone's telling you you're going to fail, what's there to lose? What is there to lose?
You already think I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
Well, there is something to lose. You can lose your identity. You can lose your understanding, your motivation, your ambition. if you're that type of person. But you're like, man, look, that's not going nowhere.
It's
This is
all in your
me.
mind.
Yeah.
It's all in your mind. Your
Yeah.
mind can be your greatest advocate. It could be it could be your prison, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, the way I set it up is it's a win-win situation.
No matter
Because
what.
either way I win, I become a councilwoman. I'm able to actually go and do all these amazing things and plans that I want to do. I can partner with the other council members, with the community to make sure we do a lot of these amazing projects we want to do and uplift all the city, make sure we actually are in a financially stable, have a stable finances to be able to actually invest in our community, all of our communities.
What do you propose can do that?
So one of the big things is making sure we really get into a lot of the financial things that are holding us back. So it's kind of, I won't say the most sexy, interesting things, but when I started looking into some of these major contracts that we're in, I saw that as we add all this commercial, we're only getting half the benefit we could really get from it, because
Mhm.
we're one of the few cities in this, basically in the area, that have a deal with the metro, where half of our commercial sales tax dollars go to the metro. So that means for the Cinemark, all the new stuff you see,
Uh-huh.
divide them all in half, because only
Uh-huh.
half of the money generated by those commercial entities stay in Missouri City. The other half go to fund the metro. And so we're effectively subsidizing the Houston's public transportation system. And, it wouldn't be such a huge issue if we were a rich city,
Yeah.
if we were a city with a lot of money. But we're actually suffering in a lot of ways. And, half to three-fourths of the city aren't seeing the investment they should see to keep up with the levels and continue to be, the communities they were decades ago, 10 years ago.
What effect would it have us cutting contracts with Metro?
So it wouldn't necessarily be cutting contracts as much as renegotiating. So if we're paying 14 million, then we need to get $14 million worth of services, right? If we're paying something for something that's worth 3 million, right, then we pay them 3 million, and that frees up money to actually invest in different initiatives, right?
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of things from the community,
Like?
whether it be public safety, right?
Mhm. What's an example of public safety?
So one big thing is that how the number of cops we have per resident per area, people wanting to see more cops doing patrols in their areas. I think I've heard that across the board, even in the areas that are
We have enough on 2234, but no,
Yeah.
just
no, and that's good to hear, because it's like if
they are doing their job. When I
Yeah.
say you see them all day, every
Yeah?
day,
Okay,
they
good.
are. It's Cartwright, and this is the area I'm really talking about because it's
Mhm,
our
mhm.
intersection.
Yeah,
But yeah, we see a lot of them over here.
Yeah, and that to me is really interesting too, because some people I say here I don't see them for months or a month straight.
Wow,
Yeah,
where they at?
exactly. So I've heard that from Siena to the very
Really?
north in like Fondren Park
Most of the
area.
time, that means to me that there's a little less crime going on,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
they are allocating where's necessary. But okay, that's one. That's one form. What's the next form? Because I'll be cutting you off all through. Just
No,
gotta have a
no.
great. Go ahead.
No, I know. No, hopefully it means I'm talking about interesting stuff.
Yes.
So infrastructure, right? I think when we see some of the streets, especially
What is infrastructure?
so like the streets, right?
Mhm.
When I think about the quality of the roads, especially when I think about Fondren, Cartwright, Texas Parkway, there's large sections where you're doing all kinds of Olympics to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And the locals know where all the potholes are, right? And are able to do those types of things. But when you go to other parts of the city, you don't see that type of degradation at all.
And what other part you talking about?
I'm talking about south of Highway 6, by Highway 6, right?
Yeah,
So
because you're right.
there's a line. There's a line you cross, right? And I've been as I've been campaigning, going through election season, I've been taking a lot of my classmates that I graduated from Hightower with as we go to different parts of the city and just show them and open their eyes to the different levels. Right?
Why do you suppose
hmm
that may be?
I think it's a choice.
What type of choice? You're so smart. I love you. You're intelligent. Let me let y'all see my face. She's so smart. What type of choice do you think it might be?
I think it's a choice. I mean, every year we
Have
look
an
at
allocation
budgeting.
of
We
yeah.
allocate funds to where we choose to allocate funds. Even this year, we're allocating quite a bit to very discretionary items. I
Do you-
brought up the metro. There's our Quail Valley Golf Course. And I have nothing against the golf course. I have nothing against Quail Valley. I want to repeat that because I'm sure there's people that are saying she's planning to shut down the golf course, but that's not at all about this. It's about
So has that been said about you?
I don't know exactly what
But
they're
just
saying.
in case.
Yeah, just in case, because
Mhm.
the amount of rumors and hearsay and this and that from people I don't know, people who have never met me, right, who feel confident to say my perspectives. All I'm saying is that if half or three-fourths of our city is truly not getting baseline level investment that we need, how can we continue to fund a golf course up to $33 million within 3 years? That is
a lot of our
astronomical amounts of
funding.
money.
So you're saying a lot of our funding is going to places that are well funded.
Well funded, or it's very discretionary. That's not
Yeah.
needed to do that.
Yeah.
It's not needed. Some of it I know I was for drainage and flooding.
Yeah.
But is it 33 million needed for that full drainage and funding, or is it more of it again going to subsidize different aspects of our city that don't necessarily benefit all of us collectively, but a select few?
Like the park that they're about to.
Which
Kitty? Is it Kitty? Kitty something over Highway 6.
Park. Okay, yeah.
They're about to allocate more funds to that. They've already done it to make it into a bigger, better place. We still have places that need to be built up.
Yeah, and that is yeah, I think when we come across what we're doing as a city and the projects we're doing. I even hear about some of the revitalization that's been done along this corridor, Texas Parkway, right? It's very piecemeal, and it doesn't feel like it's actually elevating or improving what we want to see as a city. So, I think there's going to be some millions put in investment, but it's all going towards a facilities building right across from City Hall, right? So that's an example of, to me, I would say, okay, if we need this building and that
Just
needs to be done.
We need to focus on the whole Texas Parkway then.
So that's one of my big things is about full corridor reinvestment. It can't be kind of piecemeal, one or two buildings. And what really feels shocking to me, and I've kind of tested it as I've chatted with people, is, prioritizing city buildings that only city officials really use versus infrastructure, road improvements,
making them comfortable instead of making the community comfortable.
Yeah. And so that is where, to me, if we're setting aside, creating tiers, tax investment, reinvestment zones to make sure that money stays in the community, it needs to be spent on things collectively that the community wants. So if I put a survey out to this area and the top answer was, I want y'all to invest in the city buildings, these buildings suck, and then I'd be like, all right, we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
If the top 2-3 answers were streets, beautification, commercial revitalization, then those should be what we're spending money on, right? And
that's what's on the paperwork.
Right? Exactly. And so that's, again, it's one of my pieces of my platform about public input and making sure that, it's election season. People are saying a lot of pretty nice things right now. So when it comes to your actions, your voting record, how you allocate funds, are you actually allocating funds in a way that is collectively uplifting all of us? Or is it, saying nice things during election season and then come post-election season after, the votes don't matter as much.
Dies away. So do you see these things from your perspective, from your personal opinion? Do you see the things that they said that they were supposed to do being done?
So I'm going to give you my personal perspective because I'm a very harsh critic. I come from
move the mic closer so they can hear.
No. So I come from a business world. It's very black and white, success, not success. When I look at Texas Parkway, when I look at Cartwright, I feel like I don't see a change. To me, it looks largely the same. Right?
What was the said changes though?
What I've heard was reinvestment and revitalization, right? And to me, I don't see that. I see the commercial corridors largely staying the same. I see high turnover that it's been. I see small businesses suffering. So yeah, I mean, I can't say. I know there's been millions invested, but I'm always like, where'd they go? Like, where
are they complacent?
Down,
Are they complacent? Do they feel like these things are happening and they said that they are happening and they've allotted money to it happening and it's not happening, so they turn a blind eye?
That's I think it's hard. I think it's hard work. Revitalization is much harder than just building on, greenland, essentially. You actually have to work with the current landowners. You have to present an idea that works, that makes them money, that makes is in line with the community wants. So it's hard work, and it needs to be a priority.
Yeah.
And I think if you try and do it out of the corner of your desk, it's never going to get done. You're going to have hodgepodge, onesie twosie, band-aid sort of fixes. It won't be the actual full suite of revitalization that we're looking for as a city. So to me, if we really want that to be the cornerstone and forefront, that means when you look at the platforms, when you're talking to your candidates, they should have a plan on how to revitalize these areas. That's some things I've been talking about, and I'm really excited about, is bringing like top level employers here, so that way we can actually.
What's an example of top level?
So a couple of different companies are putting hundreds of millions into the Houston and Houston suburb areas. One example is some of these technology AI companies, hubs. They're actually looking to put some of these white collar manufacturing type jobs in the Houston suburbs. They've already declared they're putting hundreds of millions in. So imagine we're able to,
doesn't that take away from the quality of the neighborhood?
So I would say it actually will improve the quality, because they're going to be investing. They want to
as business or as a homestead. Like, is it going to be good for homes and people who have children growing up, or is it going to be good for business, meaning bringing income into the whole community?
I would hope both.
I hope so.
I'd hope both, and we need to set it up so it is both, because I want it to employ the people that live here in Missouri City. I want the kids in Missouri City to have opportunities to intern and train and be the
Yes.
ones working at those jobs, and then the companies themselves, right? All they will be employing, hopefully, a good percentage of Missouri City, and if we set it up right, a good percentage of Missouri City citizens,
Mhm.
as well as those folks they'll be going out for their corporate lunches. They'll be making sure that they're actually taking care, because they also want to make sure their location is in a nice spot, right?
Yes.
So, where I work, typically our companies that we spend so much money, we can make sure a salad business stays in business,
Yeah,
right?
because I love it. I don't eat meat either, but
Yeah, no, I always laugh. I was like, we always make sure, we support between the recreational opportunities that you do for corporate events, just the money spent and how it pulls up the area, because it's kind of the fundamentals of economics, right? People now have more money to spend. They have assured income.
Yeah.
They can now start frequenting these places on their side. The businesses itself, they're looking to do catering, they're doing their corporate events. They're also spending money and fueling the local economy and supporting local businesses. So it becomes this kind of butterfly effect where we can actually uplift and up level a lot more people. And until you kind of think of something that has that butterfly pinwheel effect, it actually becomes hard to basically boost the economy. It doesn't just sort of magically happen, and we put a building and all of a sudden the economy is great, and now all these businesses have volume and people coming in. It's a fundamental, it's a big problem.
So what are we putting in place for the children and the elderly? Like, what's your? I want to ask you that, and then I'm gonna let you answer.
Yeah.
And I want you to answer what's your favorite proposition out of the 17.
Ooh,
The
good
17
one.
since
Yeah.
2007. 17.
Yeah. So for the kids, this was one of the things that I was really passionate about. Having graduated from Hightower High School, I was a proud graduate of the Hightower Medical Academy.
Yay!
And so through that, I was able to intern at MD Anderson at 17 years old. I was out there.
Oh,
with
so you've been popping your. I mean, let's be okay. Go ahead.
No, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that, and I also was able to intern with their Center for Research on Minority Health. So I was able to go to Galena Park by the shipping channel and actually see what the effects of environmental racism were from a very early age. So as some of the things that have been happening in Missouri City with the concrete batch plants popping up next to high schools and those kinds of activities, I'm one of the people that says, like, big X, no, no, no. I've seen what happens when we allow these the slippery slope, right, of what happens. And it's so important to me that we have a gladiator on city council to say absolutely not here, right, and make sure that we put that brick wall between us and those types of things. because when people think when you give them an inch, you get a mile. They take a mile kind of vibe. So it's so important to me that we are able to do that. But I'll get back to your actual question. So what I'm doing for the kiddos. Partly is making sure they're not susceptible. They can have clean air to breathe.
Oh, wow.
Clean air to breathe.
How do
That's
you do
very
that?
basic.
How do you do that?
So making sure when it comes to these polluting industries that
Regulations?
we say, yeah, we have
Okay.
a firm no on these kinds
Okay.
of things, right?
Okay.
We need to protect the kids. And
Okay.
if they can't be outside and play without being at risk for asthma, respiratory illnesses, all sorts of things, you can even have cancers, right? If you have a high concentration of these types of
The
businesses.
carcinogenics and different things.
Yeah, it's happening. It already happened in Galena Park, and that's what happens when it's too far gone, right? I
And
see
nobody even is suspect it. It looks so clean and regular, and it is polluted. Yeah.
I mean, I again, I talk about, the line when you go from South Missouri City to North. I drive around with my windows open, right?
Yeah.
And so I started smelling when I drive different areas of North Missouri City. I have asthma and some, mild respiratory stuff. So as soon as I start smelling it, I roll that window up.
Yeah, because it's time.
I know. And so it upsets me that people are probably breathing that air 24/7.
Is it because of the manufacturers in those areas?
Yeah, I mean it's something that I think it's highway pollution, right? I think it's the lack of green buffers in certain areas. It's just yeah, everything was cut down. I think it's also the polluting industries, right? When I was looking at North Missouri City and some other areas, the concentration of concrete batch plants or polluting industries is quite high, and our air pollution index randomly flares up, and we don't really know why.
Yeah.
But
But
it's
we do
something.
know that our allergies, sinuses, and asthma is acting up more and more at certain times. You remember? I don't know if you remember maybe 6 months back, there was a horrible smell here in Missouri City. It lasted for weeks, and they said they had tapped into something over where they're building the new warehouses, or where they built the new warehouses on 2234. Something that got tapped, and it had us horrible for a while. It was very uncomfortable, so I'm glad that you bring that up.
Yeah, no, it's one of the fundamental baselines of what creates a healthy community and society. Is like, do you have clean air to breathe? Right? Do the kids have clean air to breathe? And
Our elderly.
yeah, our elderly. And I know you asked me about elderly programs, and one of the things that I think is so important. I'm a local HOA president, and most of my community is seniors, right? And so one of the things I've done for our neighborhood is making sure that every year we have a block party, community gatherings where we all get together, both the elderly, the young families. Everyone has a chance to,
Interact
say
with each
hello,
other.
yeah, and see each other, get out of their house that one time a year. So I think one part is the soft piece is the community building, making sure you know your neighbor to left and right. Because how can we build a strong Missouri City if we don't have strong neighborhoods?
Yeah.
And that's one of my as I hope to be your councilwoman, that's going to be one of my big things I'll emphasize. Is just first we start knowing who lives left, right, in front of us, right, and we start bringing that kind of comfort. Then we start really talking about the neighborhoods, and then we start talking about how we can build a stronger Missouri City.
One neighborhood at a time.
Yeah, one neighborhood at a time, and making sure our elderly are able to retire in their homes comfortably. Because one thing that was really inspiring by Houston, they actually have a program where the elderly and seniors can apply for small fixes for their homes.
Yeah,
So
the patios program, kind of like here.
Similar to that, but say you have some plumbing issue, say you have some facade issue, the sidewalk, you need a ramp, you're able to go and work with the city to get a small loan grant type of funding to basically be able to cover for that. So
awesome.
Instead of having to, you're on a fixed income budget, most likely, instead of having to somehow make it stretch when, your budget's largely spoken for, you're actually able to have some help from the city. And again, it helps the person themselves. It helps the community as well continue to stay nice and pretty. Because one of the things that we see is as we have a large aging population, right? Multiple people can't get the services they need, can't get the help they need. And so now having something, similar to how Curb to Curb starts helping our folks get around.
Curb to Curb.
Yeah.
And I want to go back. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's go back a little bit. How does Metro help Missouri City? How does that happen? How are they helping us? I don't see maybe on this side of Missouri City. Was this south or north?
Yeah, on the north. So it's that's the question. As we renegotiate our deal with the metro, we need to make sure that what we're doing, we're a making sure we're spending money that's commensurate with the services received,
And
and
that's
then
specifically for transportation type stuff, right? Metro.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So the residents are said to, I heard,
Hmm.
I don't know personally, that they don't want metro or transportation here.
Mm. So yeah, I think part of it is one is people have an aversion to like city buses in neighborhoods, like big city buses going down their neighborhood. So I think there's so many different options we can discuss, right? So one of them is smaller shuttle buses,
Mm-hmm.
vans, those types
Mm-hmm.
of things that are a little bit less offensive,
Mm-hmm.
obtrusive, a little less polluting, right? Because some people hate just the big few black cloud that accompanies the
Metro bus,
buses,
huge
right?
buses on our good roads. I understand that.
Exactly. So I think there's a lot of alternatives we can, discuss with the metro. That's why when I say we should renegotiate the deal, one of it, the most black and white, is saying we're in a deal, let's get out of the deal.
Yeah.
So,
And we are able to do that, right?
so it would be very hard. It would be very hard because the to get out of it fully, because it is something that has been set up not just at the city level, but actually at the
Yeah.
Texas state legislator level.
Yes, I understand.
But if we get public support, right, to say that this is not,
We can change what we have.
yeah, because they don't want to have
We don't want
huge
you to go
public lash.
away. We
Yeah,
just need to see what you're doing for us, because
yeah.
Curb to Curb is amazing. I think that's one of the best things that Missouri City has to offer for their people. Um, but what happens when they need a little bit more, because Curb to Curb shuts off at 7 p.m.
Mhm. Yeah. We can extend the hours from curb to curb, right? I mean, those are all options we can discuss. Do we want, a couple shuttle routes in Missouri City?
Somewhere.
Sundays, right? People need to go to church.
That
I was
would
like
be
the
awesome.
amount of church parking lots I've been to that are just, packed to the brim. I imagine if you can just go around a couple neighborhoods, put everyone in the shuttle bus, pick them up, take them back.
Yeah. Or
There's just
even with the app, on Sundays, the Curb to Curb app
Mhm.
is amazing. And to have one in the front of a few neighborhoods, ones that are targeted and studied to see who have the elderly, who has the need, who has the disabilities, who needs the most. I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah. Now, because what I've heard, especially to your point with the seniors, is everyone wants to get around Missouri City, and a lot of people end up staying home because they don't
And
necessarily
going
feel
without,
comfortable riding,
yeah,
driving, right? Or so having some sort of inner city mobility option actually would be extremely beneficial because I think a lot of now where the money is going is the bus route for taking people from the Fort Bend Toll Road Highway 6 area to the medical center and back,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is a great service. I know it helps out our nurses and folks like that,
yeah.
and different healthcare workers. But also, we need to think about inner city connectivity. We're paying them $14 million, right? So that's a lot of money to. So if we're going to stay with the deal as
We
is, we
need
need to make
more.
sure we're
Yeah, we're gonna
getting
get our
right.
money's worth.
Yeah,
Yeah, we want it
yeah.
to the detail. I mean, to the period.
Yeah. I mean, I even wonder, do we have to charge for curb to curb if we're getting paying for
It's a
14 million?
dollar.
Yeah, but even then, if
It
it's
should be a free service.
we're already
But then they
spending.
would have to. Hey, I'm right with. Listen, you said free, free 50. I mean, that's just.
I
You
was
know,
like, that would be something. I feel like if we continue to pay them $14 million, and that is the
take
amount.
this into
Yeah,
consideration
I was
and
like,
give
take
us
out
some
that.
more,
Yeah,
because
take out.
sometimes it's a little backed up, because we may need more. People are moving into Missouri. That's our goal, right? Business are coming. That's our goal, right? Like, so yeah, we're gonna have to accommodate these businesses and
So
this.
that's to me when I again coming from a business finance background, I've negotiated a lot of deals. I've been in a lot of meetings. I've been someone that's always tried to be the advocate for the community. So I listen to you. I hear all these different perspectives about okay how we can go with forward to the metro. Some of people hate the deal. Some people love the deal.
Yeah,
Some people think about how do we want to structure it better until
yeah,
we like actually hear from the people on
yeah.
what's going well, what's not going well. Can we actually negotiate a deal that's best for the best of the people,
What's
right?
a way to interact with the people more?
Ooh, I love that. So I think we have a lot to do to improve um, the public's ability to input on the direction of their city government. Because I feel like right now we kind of stiff arm the public and try and we're very thoughtful about how we engage the public. So we're not to rile people up or I don't know, whatever it may be. And I think one of it is social media, right? Being very proactive about, hey, these are some of our city, these are the city meetings coming up. This is what we're discussing. This is the impact. This is these are the decisions that were made. This is why we made those decisions. Some of that can happen. In Manville, actually, the mayor does an amazing job of doing that. Every city meeting, he engages with the public, talks back and forth with them on those statuses and comments, just so they understand this is why we said yes to this. This is why we said no to this, right? And people can ask them questions. The second and third big thing is just being out in the community more. And, I know people make a big effort to be at, different events, but really making sure we're coming to like HOA meetings and things like that with the items that are going to affect them, right? Items that we need their influence on. So right now we have the comprehensive plan process going on, which is the strategic vision for our city, which everyone should be, super engaged in, because it basically says, what is the plan for Missouri City in this next 5 to 10 years? Where are we going to put our dollars? Where are we going to invest? And we need to make sure that as we create these plans, they're a direct reflection of what the people want to see. They shouldn't look at that plan and feel like, I don't feel like my perspective is heard, or I don't feel like this is what we as the citizens or the public want. And I think that can happen a lot when we operate kind of this way in silos. And it makes it hard for me to think that as we continue to grow as a city, if we don't change how we interact with the public, are we actually going to grow in a way that collectively uplifts everyone, or is it going to be the same pattern and trends you see happening now, but exaggerated?
How does your position that you're running for influence this?
Yeah, so this is one of the highest, most strongest positions in our city government, right? It is an at-large position. It is over all of Missouri City. The goal is to uplift and think about the needs of all of Missouri City. As I think about the work I've done as a community advocate, a HOA president, largely in the area where I live in, I want to make sure that we can use that same example, right, of going from a budget deficit to a budget surplus, actually investing in our community, fixing things that have been broken for years that no one said
Are
we
we
could
pretty
fix.
bad in our deficit?
So we're not in a budget deficit, but we're right in the area of like making it every year.
Okay.
And when you think about the Metro deal,
Yeah.
right, those are things that I think about. There's going to be a time we're pulling in $100 million in commercial sales tax revenue. Does that mean 50 million is going to the Metro? That's great because it's 0.5%.
So it has been written. If we make 200 million, you get 100 million.
Yep. So it's basically since the genesis of the deal, it was in the 70s.
Well, it's a little outdated.
Yeah, so that's another thing. It's been 50 years and no one's brought up renegotiating the Metro
It's
deal
outdated.
until I platformed it in the Fort Bend County.
Good job.
Yeah, debate. I mean, I got a lot of slack for it, but I was like, I'm so happy we're discussing.
Yeah,
it.
at least I don't care if you're mad at me, but what are we gonna do about it?
It is exactly, and like bringing the issue to the people, because to your point, you had a lot of really great valid points about it. But okay, let me get back to the Metro. 50 years ago, 1970s area. I told you I'm a Spitfire.
All right, okay, I like it because I'll be all over the place. Go ahead.
Yeah, so 50 years ago, 1970s, we got into this deal with the Metro. The reason we got into the deal is we're going to give them half of our commercial sales tax revenue. So typically a city gets 2%. We get 1% in most city. They get 1% in the Metro, right? So Sugar Land's not set up like that. Pearland's not set up like that. Stafford's not set up like that. We are one of the few cities that decided to get into this deal with the Metro. We got into this deal for a commercial train line.
Were brothers over each part or something? Was a brother here in Missouri City and another brother at Metro, and they're like, hey, you're going to give me half.
There's a lot of, when I look at some of the financial deals that Missouri City has entered, I have questions, lots of questions, right? And so 50 years ago, we did that for an electric train line. So what I imagine is what you see in Tokyo, right? Something that gets you to Houston in 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. We're going to have like the future of transportation right here in Missouri City. 50 years later, we have a single bus line and a bus station, at Fort Bentoll Road. We have curb to curb, which I don't think is. I need to
We got
imagine.
about 7 vans.
Yeah, exactly. We got some. And my question too is like, if I gave you $14 million a year, what would you be able to provide for us in services, right?
I would love to see the receipts
Mm-hmm.
that they give them back. This is what we did for you.
Mm-hmm.
The financial reports
Mm-hmm.
given back to Missouri City by Metro. I mean, they must be immaculate. Whoever put them together,
I mean, I'm whoever
I
got
want
the
them to
deal.
work for me.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, whoever negotiated that deal on the Metro side, kudos to you.
Yes, you did that.
You
50 years later,
Yeah.
everybody eating.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, it's just crazy to me. It hasn't been renegotiated since then, and the fact that
Metro not gonna like you, girl.
I, I'm not. I'm supposed to be liked by the people of Missouri City.
Amen. Hey, listen, get your money.
I'm working for the people of Missouri City, and I get. If I was on the Metro's side, I would be like, I understand why we kept this deal, but it is,
But you're not working for Metro. You're working for Missouri
exactly,
City.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so the way I liken it, since we're on Mo City Radio and music, is like a 360 record deal.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like.
Oh, that's nasty.
That's
you're being very unfair at how you're describing this deal, because if you got a 360, baby, it's
tight. Because can you imagine 50% of our commercial sales tax revenue? That's a lot.
50%.
Yeah.
Wait, there's nobody doing 50% for basics anymore. But you're right. This is something very important that needs to be renegotiated. This is horrible. Just hearing about it makes no sense. But
Yeah, and it's the thing is, one of the few things that I can say about it is just it's important we have people who are gladiators and will do the hard work. Like, this is not sexy work. This is not fun work to do, but it's what needs to be done, right? Because imagine
this is pull your hair out with psych meds work.
Yeah. No, I was like, we go into this, we're gonna have to get a war room together.
Hey.
One, strategy 1, strategy 2, strategy 3, right?
Yes.
How are we gonna go out and do this? But it's so important that we as we continue to grow, all this commercial we add, we're only getting 50% of the benefit. Metro does renegotiate, I think, 0.5%, but they refund it with strings attached, so it can only be used for mobility purposes.
Well, y'all done already took half. We can't use the 1%, the 0.1% for what we would like.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So
when
you giving it? That's
trying
crazy.
To justify it, I was like, okay, but now I can't. It got strings
and
attached.
You still get the money back.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, can we put that 0.5% on Cartwright or Texas Parkway to do the roads then?
So that they can that would be mobility, right? Commissioner, excuse me, sir. Oh, I'm gonna leave him alone because he's feisty. But I would like to also. We're gonna segue. We're gonna turn to the battle.
Ooh, the battle.
It's been getting nasty out here.
It has.
I've seen all kind of stuff going on, and I would like to know from the horse's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody talking about me, I'm the horse. Yeah.
Oh,
I had to go there. I just want them to know because I'm about that horse life. I eat my grain. What's going on out here, man?
I just think when you're fighting the good fight, you'll just have haters emerge from the woodworks. It's the amount of narratives, accusations, made up fantasy that is being published. I was actually talking to a prominent person's daughter just a little bit ago. Actually, I was walking, and one of her things she just advised me on was, hey, there's going to be a lot of nastiness. Like, politics brings out the worst in people, and I've been really shocked to see some of the behavior I've seen online from people I had respected.
They say you was cutting up. That you went for. You was like off with their heads. If you want to play with me, I'm gonna play with you. You was like, where were you when? Okay, tell us.
Yeah. Oh, the forums. Yeah. No, I just published an attendance record. I just want people to know. I just published an attendance record.
Is it public?
Yeah, it's public
record.
Knowledge. Yeah, it's public knowledge. But it wasn't. No one had. Frankly, people. A lot of voters go to these forums, but they're not necessarily known by everyone in Missouri City.
But what made you? What? Who delegated you to say, "Listen, this is what's going on with your tax dollars"?
Uh, well, it's just because it's important that people know who cares to come to these forums, right? Who cares to answer
Why is
tough
these
questions?
forums necessary? Is this something that's very important to what you would do?
Yeah, yeah, because it was to me, it's the voters inviting me to come to whatever their neighborhoods, their homes, and answer their questions. There might be tough questions, there might be hard questions. Half of those people, may not
What's a hard
love me,
question?
may hate me. Uh, I honestly didn't feel like any of the questions were too
But what
hard
would
from
be
me.
not you? I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
but what could be a hard question that you like a person in your position? I might not have the answer to it. Might be uncomfortable. I might have the answer and don't want to answer. What would be a hard question?
Yeah, I think it's holding people accountable. I think that's some what people uh, might be afraid of. I'm not completely sure, but I
Yeah,
think it's the accountability piece of
you're like
this.
I
Is
ain't experienced that yet, but
yeah, yeah. Well, one of the things I always try to do, and so I can basically live with myself as someone who helps lead the community, is when I say things, I'm pretty confident about what I would do and
I
how
could
I would
back
do
it
it.
up.
Yeah, exactly. I don't just
Mm-hmm.
say things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I said I have a plan to cut taxes, I didn't just make that up. It wasn't just a word. I looked at all these
You
financial.
studied,
Yeah, I
researched.
looked at the budget. I saw my financial ideas. I saw how much it would take out the budget if we actually did A, B, and C. And I was like, if we do A, B, and C, we can get D, the holy grail: cut taxes, improve
Like give
services.
them 20% instead of 50, maybe. But
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah. I mean, it's to your point. It's not going to be kumbaya, kumbaya with everyone, right? The metro is not going to give me awards for cutting their dollars,
Yeah.
but it's going to make the people Missouri City happy.
Healthier and happier.
Yeah, yeah.
Healthier because the air
Mhm.
quality and different things, and happier because they have better access, better transportation,
Yeah.
better aesthetics.
Yeah, and they'll know that someone on city council is really fighting and advocating for them. Like when I say, be their gladiator, I mean someone who's not just going to take no as an answer and just be like, okay, walk out the room. I'm going to be like, all right, heard. I'm going to come back with a stronger,
Next
proposition
forum, I
next time.
got you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly, exactly.
So what's
So,
your you didn't answer that. What's your favorite proposition?
oh, my favorite proposition. I think the one dealing with basic. I don't remember the exact number, but improving the homestead exemption. So making
Yeah.
sure that you're able to, just pay less in property taxes if you qualify for that homestead exemption. There was also one on dementia research
Yeah.
that
I was
being.
questioning that. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know. I
okay.
question that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The reason as someone who has a lot of like elderly and seniors in the neighborhood, just knowing the effect as people age and dementia takes hold in families and just aging in general, and as you grow up and you see these different things, making sure that we continue to take care of our people, our elderly, our
So is
seniors.
it for the research to figure out what to do, or is it for the care of them? Because that's a lot of money, and I feel like we the people will eventually
Hmm,
get to the benefits of it,
hmm, hmm,
but in the process the money is just research is paperwork and numbers and crunching and sitting down and talking, and they're getting paid a very very large sum of money
hmm,
to sit at the table like you and I are right now. I feel like the funding should come, and I know it's necessary to have funding to develop,
hmm,
but I should feel like the funding should come after the development, that there should be investors personally, because a lot of people's families are affected with this.
hmm,
I've taken care of mentally, physically, and emotionally disabled veterans, and realized that I had to stop doing that because mental illness does not have a face.
hmm,
I feel like dementia is a form of it. I
hmm,
know that a lot of people will disagree,
hmm,
but once you don't have control over your mind, it's mental illness.
hmm.
I feel like it should be treated as such.
Yeah.
We have funding for that already.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, and one of the one things I'll say is when you get into some of these like neurological disorders, and my mom's a scientist, and so
Yes.
some of the other folks I know that have been doing research is super costly To your
Yeah,
point,
of course.
it's
Yeah.
really costly. And so one of the things that have happened is that a lot of science funding has been cut,
Yeah.
and being
People's
able,
food, people can't eat right now.
yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, 300 million for food and housing or research. Research is necessary to get food and housing and whatnot and structures and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But it's difficult. It's a touchy
Yeah.
subject.
No, it's, and I hear you. Especially when you think about it at this level, and you're either or. I think that's
This
completely
level's,
warranted.
yeah,
Yeah,
it has
that's
to start
completely
somewhere.
warranted. Yeah,
Yeah, this level's
yeah,
great.
yeah. But I also think about that Center for Research on Minority Health. That was
Yeah,
also funded by some of those same things. So that is the tough part. Is it's important to fund science and research, and it's one of the first things that tend to get cut. To your point, when it comes to everything,
yeah.
essentials and all of those things. So it's one of the things that, to your point, balance.
It's
Balance is important.
necessary. I don't think
Conversation.
300 million
Hmm.
and then 300 billion
Hmm.
and then what 3 million every year after or something like that. I think there's a lot of need and I
Hmm.
think that's a lot of money because they were saying what they need for this, yet they're cutting taxes for the people that actually need the money. They need their taxes cut, but they also need the money.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Cutting taxes is one way of saying, hey, you ain't got to pay as much as you used to, but you still got to pay.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it is necessary for our city and most communities to be alive. You need the
Yeah.
funding
Yeah.
to red lights and different things like that, and seniors meals on wheels and things like that, because I don't see that here,
Hmm.
not as much as I see in other places.
Yeah, I know, and I think that's warranted. And that is why it's important to make sure we get involved and we can allocate funding. And even when you talk about, what are we proposing? What are the propositions? How do we get things like that actually as a proposition to make sure we're funding the right thing and we're asking the right questions? Because that's always something that comes to my mind as I look at some of these things, is just making sure that when we're putting these propositions on the ballot, we're getting all these folks out to vote, we're actually voting about things that excite us. I think, to your point, the one thing that everyone was very excited about was the property tax one.
Yeah.
Everything else was kind of this
I
way,
was
that
crazy
way.
about the children, the one about children.
Okay,
I
okay,
was
okay.
like, well, isn't that would be common knowledge, but then I understand the logistics of it, the legalities of it,
Hmm. Hmm.
because children are different, and saying that the children are solely their parents, um, the parents make the sole decisions over their children's lives, and I feel like it should have been always that. But then I understand things happen.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but what do you think about that?
Yeah. So for some of the propositions as well, I think it's the devil's in the details, right? The devil's in the details. And so I think solidifying parental rights, making sure that our children are cared for, is always going to be top of mind. And one of the things I always think when we get through these propositions is how they're worded and the legalese that
Hmm.
sometimes is
They so
put forth.
smart. They so smart.
Yeah, it does frustrate me. It does frustrate me because one of the things, and it's not one of the propositions that was happened this go around, but it was a proposition on last year's ballot, right? We proposed Proposition N for the city, which allowed city officials to make money off city contracts.
Mm.
Yeah, and it passed, and it was worded very, very confusingly. And it was something that I was passionate about. A lot of the community was passionate about. We spoke out about it, against it, even before the election. But
Cause why?
why,
You
right?
already doing. Oh, you want to have first dibs?
Yeah, I mean, to me, as I look at it, it just invites conflicts of interest. It invites,
Money laundering. It invites corrupt contracts. It invites.
yeah, I mean, it sounds like, I come from an immigrant background. My parents are Sri Lankan, and we
Where's
have,
Sri Lanka?
it's a little island in Asia. So
Really?
yeah, yeah, right
Really?
next to the equator, very tropical, very tropical.
Really?
Yeah, very tropical. You should go. You should go.
She said you should go. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, you might not come back. You
All
might not come.
right.
Yeah, coconuts all day, every day. Yeah,
Really? That
yeah,
sounds really amazing.
yeah,
I
yeah.
hear about it, but I've never been. That would be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, we're a very musical culture as well, so you
You
probably would
sing?
enjoy that. But I'm not the best singer, but I do a little bit something. I'll do a little choir when I'm mingled with everyone. And also, I love drums, so I'm always like hand drums and things like that. It's always
So you
super
like
fun.
rhythms.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
different.
I like music, rhythm, exactly. So that's why growing up in Mo City was also really fun, just seeing how musically talented everyone is. I always tell people I saw some of the craziest, most talent I've ever seen at like Hightower and Lake Olympia
I'm
between
looking
like
for them right now.
dancing
We
and
have events coming up. So if you know somebody who knows somebody, talk
okay.
to them and tell them, hey, we're doing the battle of the schools where we're getting
Oh,
all of the young, who's the next big artist here in
yeah.
Missouri City. So we're getting all of the high schoolers together to come and compete, have
Mhm.
great times in a healthy, loving, caring, safe environment.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's amazing. And I love that especially too that like friendly school on school rivalry. See each
Love it.
other,
Yeah, just for the best stuff. Not, we
Yeah.
just want to see who most cities got talent,
Yeah,
you
they got a
know?
lot of talent, a lot
Yeah.
of talent. So no, that makes me so happy, and making sure that, yeah, we just celebrate who we are, right? Even at our high tower, we had a lot of we just had a smorgasbord of people. We had Muslims, we had uh, South Asians, we have different countries in Latin America, like El Salvador,
Yeah.
Mexico,
Uh-huh.
Guatemala, right? We have people from different countries in Africa,
Yeah.
Nigeria, Kenya, Ethiopia. Then we had all the people that are born and raised in Missouri City who had their parents born and raised in Missouri City, right? So it was just such a cool melting pot, and
Yeah.
it taught us so much about different things. I still remember when I started, hearing like old school chopped and screwed for the first
What you
time,
know about that girl? What
zero
you
for the
know?
first time.
What?
Yeah,
You
baby.
really, really
Yeah.
be out there, don't
I
you?
know. I was like, that's the endorsement I need. I was like, when is Zero going to endorse me?
I
No, I'm
mean,
joking.
hey,
But
get him to come out. You need to reach out to him and have him come out to some of these events in the community and stand by your side. That's where it starts, just
yeah.
reaching out. Hey, how you doing? I am,
Mhm.
that's really awesome. I could see that for you though.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
love Mo City. I truly do. And just like who we are as a city, what our potential is as a city, and just making sure everyone here is doing well, right? And we're caring about all parts of our city, from the kids to the elderly to the families, right? You can't do everything for everybody, but you can make a really good effort to try and uplift as many people as you can, and try and collectively think through what are the best ways to really uplift our city, right? And make sure that our dollars are going to the right places and spent effectively, and that as we continue to grow, we continue to grow those legacies, right? Like, we instead of we have one Miss Universe, we can have three,
hey,
right? We can have four international rappers,
hey,
right? We can
right.
have
More than that, because if we
yeah,
gonna find them, so
yeah.
what's a perception of you that people may have and they are completely wrong?
Oof. I think there's been a lot of people making me out to be like a boogeyman, or maybe honestly like a terrible person. Just the kind of
They say you come for their throat.
real.
You're vicious with it. You like, I don't look. You go for it. That's what I
Yeah.
was telling
Oh
you
man.
about when they were saying something about when I saw that online. I was like, oh, she got hard, huh? She just
Oh, that's
listen.
so
I'm gonna
funny.
call them out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
So
like, I haven't come for anybody's throat yet. I
yeah.
won't
Oh, she
say.
said, yeah. I ain't really
Yeah,
did nothing.
I was like, trust me, when I come, you gonna know.
Oh my God. Tell us what people.
Oh man, no, it's always funny. I was like, I posted some of the stuff. I was like, I've really been. I feel like I've been pretty soft with it. That's why I've, really concentrated on making sure that all my messages, everyone that's in my
Are
campaign,
clear.
yeah, very clear about we're just trying to uplift. I'm from Missouri City. I care about Missouri City. I have qualifications, which is why I'm running for this position, because I have a vision, and it's the community's vision really that I'm really quarterbacking and trying to platform to make Missouri City better. That's it.
I think you act like a Mosidian.
I
I
am.
know, right? I like you.
I am. I
Keep
was like, if we
Missouri
want to
City
get a,
great.
yeah, if we want to get popping, we can get popping. But
Oh, you gonna pop off? Okay, listen. So this is the thing. They perceive that you are something that you're not, and you're not like that at all. I'm just
yeah, I'm typically, someone that I don't dwell in negative energy. I don't want to promote that type of thing. That is not why I ran for this position. If I started doing that, then I would be just as bad or worse than some of the people that do those types of things. I don't want to. I didn't come and run for this position to be the same type of person with a different face. That's very, very important to me.
Calling people out is looked poorly upon sometimes when you call, I don't know if you calling them out. What do you call calling someone out? What's another word for some other words to?
I was holding accountability. I didn't feel like I was calling anyone out. I was holding accountability of, like we said, we care about public input. We had 5 forums to attend. I prioritized, rearranged my schedules to attend those forums and made sure I could attend them. Um, that to me I didn't even think. I was kind of shocked by the backlash and the hoopla it created. I honestly didn't think it would be that much. I thought,
What about people thinking that you're inexperienced, not qualified for
I'm
the
like, read the
job?
resume, baby.
Oh, she's like, let me post.
I know.
Can
I
you
was like,
post that? You got to
yeah.
post that this
I was
week. She
like,
was
I'm
like,
happy to. I'm happy to. Tell
yeah.
me how I'm inexperienced. Some people too. I was like, they'll try to demean, belittle you. I'm a petite, chocolate woman. I've seen it all, heard it all. I grew up in Missouri City, so I'm not necessarily. I'm not a pansy, not a wimp. Mama raised a warrior. The community raised a warrior, right?
Yeah.
So that is how I hold myself. I hold myself to those standards, and I expect.
So you hold yourself accountable?
Yeah, yeah, and I tell everyone else, if I'm saying things and you see me act different, tell me immediately. My community knows too. They have me on speed dial, right? Whenever
Right.
things are
So you're
happening.
available to the community.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I was like, I have a million text messages. Even as I was block walking, someone asked me, for help with a certain issue. I got his name, I got his number, and I'm gonna send out an email when I get home. To
Tomorrow's
try and help him.
election day.
Yeah, even with tomorrow being election day, I'm gonna
You got
try
a
and
lot
help.
going on.
Yeah, because I mean, the work never stops. The work never
So
stops.
tomorrow's election day, and if you can say, and this is your time, if you can say anything you can to the people, to the community,
Yeah.
what would you say?
Well, I am so excited to be here today, and I hope you got a little bit of who I am as a person, and can kind of see my character, my intent, and why I'm running for Missouri City Council. I'll always say that I am, an open door. If you reach out to me on Facebook, on Instagram at Denishi for Mo City, I'm 100% available. Will answer. Um, what I care about is making sure that y'all, Missouri City, the people of Missouri City, are the forefront and the top item at the platform, right, of what we care
At
about and
every
what we're
forum.
pushing. Yeah, yeah. This is all about the people, right?
Yeah.
It's about uplifting the people and making sure that as we grow as a city, the people are being uplifted with the city. And so that is my intention. I hope to see you out at November 4th. I myself will be at the Missouri City Community Center from 7 a.m. to 7
Where's
p.m.
that located?
Just around the corner here, right next to City Hall, Texas Parkway. So by the Shipley's Donuts.
Yeah.
There you go.
That sounds good right
yeah,
now.
right. You can get some Shipley's and come on over, or you can vote and get some Shipley's.
Yeah,
So,
either way.
whichever one you want.
We
But
might have some Shipleys out there for you.
yeah, if you don't know, there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, you got to pull up. Is there anything you want to leave the people with other than that? I'm glad that they got to know you from this perspective instead of
Yeah.
just, and I know you're in the community. I know you're involved. I know you're interacting with people. What else? Is there anything else that you want them to know?
Yeah. Just remember that who you are as the people of Missouri City. People may count you out, they may discount you, say this and that, but you are built for greatness. And do not forget that. Whether I win or lose, etc., that is secondary to you remembering your destiny, who you are meant to be, and taking hold of that fate with both hands and being exactly who you want to be, uncompromising. And I hope you take that from this today. And I just want to thank you, Allie, for inviting me here to Mo City Radio. I'm just honored to be here and be able to chat with the great people of this city.
I had to invite you because your name was blinging all through the wind. I wanted you to. I didn't even know who you were at first, and then the first time I saw you was in the community at one of our events. That was amazing. You were uplifting and inspiring other students and children or artists. You stood there. I know for one, you ran back.
Yeah,
I know
your
that one
daughter
person.
saw
Yeah,
that. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I was trying to close the door. I was like, I gotta go for my 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. shift, but I was like, wait a minute.
And
That'll give me a little
who
energy.
are you what do you do for a living?
Yeah, so I'm business field management consulting is what I've been doing. So it's basically helping big businesses with strategy, business problems. So my last kind of sexy project was working on the digital marketing for the world's largest diamond retailer.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds
I know exactly.
nice.
So it was like sell more gold and diamonds to all our brides and
Ah,
the ladies
beautiful
and the
brides.
gents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or just I love you presents or to yourself or to someone you
exactly.
love, you
Just
know?
you for you, one for me, one
Yay.
for him.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
get a ring. You get a, whatever.
Mhm.
But I'm glad that you were here and I'm so welcoming of your presence. We did not know who you were. We didn't know that you were a human being with a heart and a mind and a spirit. And now we know that. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's Ali Fiya with Mo City Radio. And we are